Sruta Anubhavam Saranam Braja Bhavina Bhamini Athatam Sarva Bhutanam Bhut Padmeshu Kritalayam Sruta Anubhavam Saranam Braja Bhavina Bhamini Atha. Therefore, Tam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities, Krit Padmeshu, in the lotus hearts, Krita Alayam, residing, Sruta Anubhavam, whose glories you have heard, Saranam, onto the shelter, Braja, go, Bhavena, by devotional service, Bhamini, my dear mother. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Translation. Therefore, my dear mother, by devotional service, take direct shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart. Purport by His Divine Grace, La Prabhupada ki jai. One can attain direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full Krishna consciousness and revive one's eternal relationship with Him as lover, as Supreme Soul, as Son, as friend, or as a master. One can re-establish the transcendental loving relationship with the Supreme Lord in so many ways, and that feeling is true oneness. The oneness of the Mayavadi philosophers and the oneness of Vaishnava philosophers are different. The Mayavadi and Vaishnava philosophers both want to merge into Supreme, but the Vaishnava do not lose their identities. They want to keep the identity of lover, parent, friend, or servant. In the transcendental world, the servant and the master are one. That is the absolute platform. Although the relationship is servant and master, both the servant and the servant served stand on the same platform. That is oneness. Lord Kapila advised his mother that she did not need any indirect process. She was already situated in that direct process because the Supreme Lord had taken birth as her son. Actually, she did not need any further instruction because she was already in the perfectional stage. Kapiladev advised her to continue in the same way. He therefore addressed his mother as Bhamini, to indicate that she was already thinking of the Lord as her son. Devahita is advised by Lord Kapila to take directly devotional service, Krishna consciousness, because without that consciousness, one cannot become liberated from the clutches of Maya. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakkhunmritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunath Tam Sachivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sevishakan Vitamcha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Chakatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. So, these days we are discussing about Canto 3 and entanglement in fruitive activities, and what is Kapila Muni's instruction to his dear mother. It's a very beautiful topic. As the course evolves, we see how Kapila Muni is describing that devotional service basically is the only go-to, only our our own destiny is our basically prescribed duty, or like go-to task kind of thing, so that we can get relieved from this material cycle, and we go back to Godhead. So very nicely, Kapila Muni is instructing his own mother what is the importance of the devotional service and how to do it. And he is also reinstating that you are already doing that. And because his mother, basically, he has a relationship with him, and taking care of him as a son, and he has a relationship. Like we here we see that Prabhupada in this purport, he describes that our consciousness basically we can improve and we can revive our eternal relationship with Krishna as a lover or as a supreme soul or a son or as a friend or as a master. So this relationship we can do in a different ways. So here Kapila Muni is saying that we should do that by doing the devotional service, because devotional service is surpasses everything. Like there are so many paths to reach Krishna. Like there are karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, then there is jhana yoga, but bhakti yoga is basically is the direct approach. So my knowledge on this beautiful subject matter is very limited, but with all of your blessings and guidance of Guru and Gauranga, would like to glorify this beautiful subject matter. Also today is Deepavali, the festival of lights, and today is a very auspicious day. And as we're talking about this devotional service, so we can take the example from Ramayana about this devotional service. Like today, basically, Lord Ram, when he was after like 14 years of exile, when he was coming back to Ayodhya on the pathway, there are basically citizens of Ayodhya. Basically, they were standing outside to welcome him. Deepavali basically is Amavasya, but when Lord Ram is coming, the full moon is coming to Ayodhya back. So the citizens were basically decorated everywhere with lights and festival, like with festivities and all around, so that to give a grand welcome to Lord Ram. Similarly, there are so many pastimes. If we see that our Vrindavan pastimes, so many pastimes happen today and tomorrow. Like tomorrow is Govardhan Puja. So many festivities are all around. So I'm sure all of you must be having a nice time with your loved ones at home. And with that, would like to go deep into this verse now. So there are two things here. Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. Basically, oneness philosophy of the Mayavada philosophers and oneness of the Vaishnava philosophers. How they are different. We're going to go a little bit deep into that. And then Prabhupada basically is emphasizing about devotional service. So if you see that, in Bhagavad Gita in the last chapter, in the 18th chapter, in the 55th verse, Krishna says that Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti. Basically, he says that one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So we say that the Supreme Personality of Krishna, of Godhead Krishna, and this plenary person cannot be understood just by mental speculation or not by the non-devotees. We see, like when non-devotees, they talk about Krishna, that is different. And they're not fully, understanding about the Krishna consciousness and about the philosophy. So if anyone wants to know or understand about Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take the pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden. Then in again, like if you go back before in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 7, in the verse 25, Krishna says that basically he is not exposed to everybody. Naham Prakasa Sarvasya. Basically, he said that I am not revealed easily to everybody. Krishna again says that I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent people. For them, I am always covered by my internal potency. And therefore, they do not know that I am unborn or infallible. So sometimes, we can argue that yes, Krishna is basically Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everybody can see Krishna. Yes, everybody can see Krishna. Krishna is visible to everyone. Like sunlight is there. Sunlight is, goes to everybody. But who is who is utilizing that sunlight, and what is the benefit of sunlight on some plants or some bushes or some dark areas? So that we all know that. So when Krishna basically he was present in this material planet, he was present in front of everybody. At that same time, we see that Arjuna's interaction with Krishna was different, Duryodhana's interaction with Krishna was different, and Shishupala's interaction with Krishna was different. So how can it is that, if Krishna is there and why he is not manifested to everybody? He was manifested to everybody, but there are few people who could not understand Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead because Krishna decided not to reveal himself to them. So we see that in the assembly of the Kurus, like when this when our Yudhishthira Maharaj was basically conducting that Rajasojagya, then it was decided that Krishna will be given the will be given the fast offering. And that time Shisupada was there. He like he didn't like it. He started talking lot of like negative words about Krishna. So he told, how can Krishna become the president of the assembly? And he's just a cowherd boy and he doesn't have anything. He started counting so many bad qualities of Krishna. So that time, Pitama Bhisma was there, Bhima was there. Bhima, in fact, he was very angry on that time. So Pitama Bhisma also supported him and proclaimed that, yes, if there is only person who can decide, who is basically to claim to be the supreme here or, like chief here, that can be Krishna only. So Pandavas and few others know that Krishna is supreme, but not everyone. So Duryodhana, like he was always against Krishna. Like when Krishna has come as a messenger to Duryodhana's court, Duryodhana is saying, no, I'm not, basically he's disobeying Krishna. So Krishna basically he is not revealed to everyone, specifically not to the common devotees, not to the non-devotees. So similarly, we can think of the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, Jagai Madai were there, Chandkaji also were there. So we all are, following the path of bhakti and we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is basically Krishna himself. But why it is exposed? Why actually this is revealed to us? Because we have the blessings of the Guru and Gauranga. When we don't have the blessings of the Guru and Gauranga or in the Parampara, these things are not basically revealed to us. So no one can understand Krishna simply by this scholarship or by the mental speculation. Only one who is actually engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service can understand what Krishna is. We might have so many university degrees, so many masters, so many PhDs, so many things we might have. We might have taken birth from, a very saintly family. But if you don't have mercy of Krishna and if you're not doing devotional service, we won't be able to understand Krishna is. Who is Krishna is. So basically, when we fully are conversant that with the Krishna conscious science, then only we are eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom or the abode of Krishna. Sometimes I say that yes, we are merging with Brahma. Merging with Brahma doesn't mean that basically that we are losing the identity. So devotional service will be always there. As long as devotional service is there, Lord will be there and the devotee will be there. And the process of devotional service will be there. So basically, what is liberation? Liberation basically involves that you can get free from the concept of the material life. But in the spiritual life, the same distinction is there, same individuality is there, same Krishna is there, and the same devotee is there. But it is in the Suddha Sutta platform or in the pure Krishna consciousness. Here, if you say that, like lot of times it is says that enter into me. What does that enter into me? Enter into me, sometimes, like people think that, yes, basically everything got mixed. My identity is lost. Everything becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. And there are effulgences there. And he says that they merge into the Supreme. So sometimes, like the philosophy is that one becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahma. Basically, our philosophy, it says, no, it is not like that. One can enter into the abode of Supreme Lord in one's own individuality to engage in his association and render service to him. Suppose somebody is doing devotional service, like the gopis will be doing devotional service in Golak, in Vrindavan, Matya Vrindavan, and they will be still doing the devotional service in Golak Vrindavan also. So always Prabhupada gives the example of a green bird. A green bird, when it enters into the green tree, if you see the example here, there is a bird here, small parrot is there. It has gone basically into the green tree. So when a green bird enters into the green tree, it doesn't become that, it becomes one with the green tree. But it has come, basically, it has to enjoy the fruits of the tree. So what impersonal view is? Impersonal generally think that, like everything is lost over here. So here we see that the individual soul is compared to a green bird that enters to the green tree or the forest, which is compared to basically Supreme Personality of Godhead or Krishna. So it appears looking at that when you see from outside, the parrot and tree all basically look to be same. If you don't know, you cannot understand that yes, there is a parrot is there because everything is looking as green to us. So, so the personality schools of thoughts maintain that the soul and the soul and basically supreme personality Godhead, they're eternally distinct, and that any merging is only apparent because oneness in this case it refers to that a unity of purpose through doing devotional service or loving service, and realization of one's nature as Brahma, but maintenance of one's spiritual individuality. So basically, and we can think that for does liberation. Liberation basically involves entering God's abode. Through many schools, it is that the souls who have become free from material contamination are already liberated, even before leaving the material body. So why we say that? Because though a devotee is in this material platform, he always thinks of Krishna. Like his life is basically Krishnaized. Always he thinks, those staying in the Grihastha ashram, he's always focuses, like how to serve Krishna, how to do some different service. Suppose, he is getting some, salary increment. He thinks, yes, this much salary increment I have got, how I can utilize it better in temple activities, or how I can do a proper utilize for my sadhana, or how I can serve Krishna. So constantly, since we are thinking of Krishna, basically, that moment we can say that the devotees basically are basically liberated. They are not in this material. Basically, they are not doing any activities for their own, basically own enjoyment. They always think that Krishna basically is the supreme personality of Godhead, and whatever I am doing, basically, it is for Krishna's pleasure. Krishna is always a master. Krishna is now a master. I am a servant. In Golok Vrindavan also, Krishna will be master, and I will also serve them. But the difference is that I can serve Krishna there with my full one, with my full self. So impersonal generally give the idea of, like a river. A river basically when it is flowing and it is going and mixing with the ocean, they say that when a river is basically going and mixing with the ocean, basically it is merging. And this may be their source of happiness, that yes, in the merging, you get all the happiness. Basically, they say that all identity is lost. You are we are basically merged into the ocean. As a river, you are merging with the ocean. But the personalist view, basically, it says that the personal individuality or identity is just like an aquatic in the ocean. There are so many aquatics will be there in the river, right? When the river is basically merging in the ocean, the aquatics are also flowing in the ocean. Basically, the aquatics also earlier it was in the river. Now it is the ocean. It has not lost the identity. So basically, this is the way we can identify the personalist view or an impersonalist view. The two things we discussed. One is basically the river is merging. When the river is merging, the impersonalist think that yes, identity is lost. But the personalist school thinks that yes, there are aquatic animals inside the river when we are merging. Basically, they are the same aquatic animals inside the ocean. The other one we discussed about is the parrot example. Parrot looks basically when inside the forest or inside a green tree, if the parrot is there, parrot is basically enjoying his fruit. It is there. Basically, it stays there. It's a separate entity altogether. But from far away, it looks like that. Yes, it has been merged over there. So if we go deep into the surface, surface inside the ocean, there will be so many aquatic different animals will be there. So the complete knowledge of aquatics basically will happen once we go deep into the ocean. So because of the pure devotional service, a devotee can understand so there are so many transcendental qualities of Krishna is there and devotees are there. So when we do more and more devotional service, slowly these things are getting revealed to us. And we can see that how about the opulence of Krishna and how Krishna is supreme, how Krishna is powerful. So always Prabhupada talks about this Brahmabhuta platform. Like, Brahmabhuta platform means, in that Brahmabhuta platform, basically, all the knowledge is basically revealed to us. And in that platform, we consider Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we basically are the mere servant of Krishna. And we see in everywhere Krishna's presence. Like any living entity we see that yes, Krishna is always there. And that time, basically, our focus is how to please Krishna. So after attainment of this Brahmabhuta platform, and we're basically free from the material conception, the real devotional service, basically, it begins after that. How it begins? Because we try to hear more and more about, more and more about Krishna. We try to, Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, everything, we try to release it more and more. They say, in Bhagavad Gita, they say, right, Tushyam teacher, Amam teacher. Like whenever these devotees are there, they get enjoyment and by hearing more and more about Krishna. So there, before that, basically, there is a greediness and there is a loss for sense enjoyment. But after that, this greediness for loss and sense enjoyment, basically, it disappears. As the lost and desire for sense gratification disappears from our heart, slowly, devotee becomes more and more attached to Krishna and his service. So now, if you see that now the Deepavali is there, it's coming, and Annakut is approaching, all of you must be very busy in doing some kind of devotional service for the pleasure of Giriraj. Otherwise, if you see earlier, it was, how I am going to enjoy. Deepavali means, like, or any Friday or any festival means, yes, let's go to a restaurant, buy some nice sweets or something like that. But here now the consciousness has been changed. You try to get the first class material, first class quality product from store, and you take shower and you cook bhoga along with your family, and you offer a diya and you offer this bhoga, and also, like, since celebration is at Sunday in temple, all the devotee will be bringing bhoga to a temple. This is kind of a devotional service. So slowly, what happens by hearing and doing devotional service, the heart becomes very soft, and becomes an attachment towards Krishna. So instead of attachment of the sense gratification, we get more and more attached to Krishna. So in Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is always described that devotional service is the only path to reach to Krishna. So this devotional service, basically, it never stops. After liberation also, the process of bhakti or the devotional service also continues. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, real devotional liberation is defined as the reinstatement of the living entity in his own identity, his own consciousness position. So what is devotee's consciousness position? Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. So basically, every living entity is part and parcel or fragmental portion of Supreme Lord. Therefore, his consciousness position is always to serve. So after liberation also, the service is never stopped. Actually, liberation is getting free from misconception life. It's not like stopping of the devotional service. So here Kapila, basically, he is urging his mother to focus on bhakti, nothing else. Any path we follow, if we have the mentality that I will also enjoy along with Krishna, in fact, I am going to only enjoy, nobody else, then we are basically going to be entangled. So our understanding should be Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am just a servant of Krishna. So here, if we see that Kapila Dev is always giving here entirely reference to Bhakti Yoga over like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Ashtanga Yoga. He's saying that my mother, take direct Bhakti Yoga, do devotional service, worship Vasudev. And to worship Vasudev, take guidance of a Vaishnava. Like Prabhupada always says that follow the parampara, be in the parampara. And inside the parampara, basically, if you are there, slowly, you will understand Krishna in a systematic way, in a pure way, and Krishna will be revealed to you. So earlier, Kapila Muni was discussing about these Hiranyagarbha worshippers. Like if you're, sometimes what happens about when you are worshipping someone, if the person is getting liberated, then along with that, you are getting liberated. But if the person is not a pure devotee and you are worshipping, then the problem starts over there. So here, Kapila Muni is saying, my mother, please worship Vasudev. And that is, always do the devotional service. That way, you will definitely go back to Golok Vrindavan. So when we're talking about this devotional service, and since it is Deepavali time, just wanted to glorify some characters from Ramayana, as Ramayana basically talks about this pure devotional service. So pure devotional service, our Rupa Goswami says that always, like Anyaya Bhidasata Sunyam, in Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulana Krishna Shulanam Bhakti Uttamam. Basically, Rupa Goswami says that we should do transcendental loving service to Supreme Lord favorably and without any desire for material profit and gain or fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. So if we see Raman, there are so many characters are there. Ramayana, in Ramayana, Lord Ram basically he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes they say that to approach God, you should have this qualities, that qualities, because Lord is he excelled in all the qualities. But if you see the characters from Ramayana, it's a Hanuman or Jatayu or Guhak or even our Vibhishanji, they're from different backgrounds. Like Hanuman, he is coming from an animal gender background. Jambavan is there, he is a bear. And then there is a little squirrel we see in Ramayana pastime. He's assisting Lord Ram in taking little sand particles and putting into the stones so that they will act as a binding. Then we can see the example of Vibhishan. Vibhishan basically he is taken back from a demoniac family, like he is Ravana's brother. And he's totally, like Ravana is against Lord Ram. But Vibhishan has true devotional service towards Lord Ram. Then there is Sabari's example. Sabari is basically unchaste lady. He is taken back from a lower caste family. But she has true devotion towards Lord Ram. Then we have the example of Guhak. He is basically into this tribal caste. But all this, they are only one thing common in them is they have the pure devotional service. They have unadulterated devotional service towards Lord Ram. That's why Lord Ram in Bhagavatam it is described that what all these personalities have in one thing in common, that is devotional service. Though they are from taken birth into low caste families and they don't have educational background, they have not gone to the higher school or higher authorities kind of thing. But since they have only one thing common, that is pure devotional service towards Lord Ram considered them to be their one of the most dear friend. So when these devotees are surrendered to Lord, we're talking about liberation, right? When in scripture it says that when Lord Ram basically he went to Golok Vrindavan, along with him, entire citizens of Ayodhya, basically they also got liberated. But as a pure devotee of Krishna, we are not seeking for liberation. Our only goal is how to serve Krishna life after life. And either this planet or any planet, wherever we go, whatever path we take, we desire that yes, we always get an opportunity to serve Krishna. That is basically the real liberation. Real liberation means, like not getting exposed to this material world, not getting entanglement into this material sense gratification, but always in our mind, we think of Krishna and how to serve Krishna as a dear servant. With this, would like to end today's discussion. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Mataji, Madhupati is not joined, so
yeah, I see him. I saw him here. Okay.
Yeah, I saw him in between join, but it's not there right now.
Okay.
In participant, his name is not there. So
Madhupati Prabhu, you are around? Okay, I think maybe Prabhu is in a different line or something. So, so we sing you a happy Deepavali. So we can end today's discussion here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. You can do Vaishnava prayer. Panchakalpatarubhasya Krupasindhubhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namo. Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hari.
Thank you, Mataji. Happy Diwali.
Happy Deepavali.
Thank you, Mataji. Happy
Thank you,
Diwali.
Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Happy Diwali. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.